What's up, fragrance family? It's your boy Neeb with Aromatics, and we're back with another episode. Today's episode is a Middle Eastern cheapie. Before we get into the fragrance, guys, if you haven't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. And without further ado, let's get right into it, guys. Today's fragrance is from the house of Lattafa. If you guys are not familiar with Lattafa, it's a very well-known Middle Eastern house. Do a lot of dupes, originals, and all that good stuff. This is another fragrance that kind of, I don't know if you want to call it a dupe, but it kind of makes a little twist on a very familiar scent DNA. Let's take a look at the box, which you can already see the front of the box here. Here's the side of the box with the Lattafa stamp at the top. And then on the back, it's just the same thing, okay? And then on the bottom of the box, we've got all of our information here, nothing too important. And at the very top, you have that Lattafa stamp. You open the box by sliding open the top. And then on the inside, the fragrance sits in a cutout, which is pretty snug. The cutout is made of foam with some velvet covering. And let's take a look at the bottle. Here we go, Lattafa. So it's basically a painted bottle. I really don't like the fact that they paint these bottles. Nothing crazy about it, guys. The cap does snap into place. Well, slides into place, very snug as well. So, as you can see, and let's take a look at the atomizer. Not too bad. And the bottom, there is that sticker. And that's about it, guys. So let's get into the fragrance itself. Let me see my tester strips. Here we go. Now, the notes that I found here were varying between websites. So I went with the intenseoud.com website for the notes. And we have certain notes like nutmeg, pink pepper, ginger and bergamot, and then there's incense, cedar, labdanum, woody notes, and basically that's it, guys. Nothing too crazy. It doesn't get too close with a lot of fragrances that it smells like, but nonetheless, we'll get right into it. Here we go. Pretty big on the distribution. Okay, so right off the bat, I get a blast of sweetness and freshness. It's nice, it's citrus, but sweet at the same time. In the same vein as Invictus, in that exact same family. So if someone were to say that this is an Invictus clone, I wouldn't call it a clone, I would call it a twist. Definitely is very, very reminiscent of Invictus vibes, 100%. A little bit richer and deeper in that sweetness. Whether or not that's a good thing, I'm not quite sure, but in my opinion, this kind of can overdo that density in the fragrance, and it did give me a headache, but it doesn't mean that it smelled bad. I can definitely pick up some ginger and bergamot, and a lot of sweet notes here. There aren't too many florals in here, but there's a lot of woods, and that woods blended with the bergamot and pink pepper and the ginger, it makes it very sweet and effervescent. That ginger is pretty strong in the fragrance as well. When I first unboxed this fragrance, it just off of first impressions, I thought it was a YSL clone, but I don't know, it's not too specific between YSL between Invictus, and between YSL L'Homme. I kind of get a little bit of everything, and it makes sense because we have that pink pepper and that ginger. You know, these are all notes that you can find in YSL L'Homme. And then we have other vibes in here that really, really remind me of Invictus. And definitely the most inspiration for this fragrance, I have to say, is the Paco Rabanne Invictus. If you're looking for an Invictus twist or something that's cheap and smells a little bit better, I've got my nose on a couple other clones of Invictus. And honestly, this does a pretty dang good job. It's not one that, you know, people will dislike. You just gotta be easy on the trigger because it does perform. It gave me a good 3 hours of projection, where it projected for about 2 to 3 feet, and longevity was about 8 hours. So solid performer for 35 bucks and under, not too bad. Lattafa Hayaati. Now guys, before we end this video, I wanna mention that there's another Hayaati fragrance that looks almost identical, and I'm gonna present it here in the video, but I'm not gonna cover it here. I'm going to cover it in another video. And what I'm going to do in that other video is actually compare it and tell you guys which one I like more. So this is Hayaati from Ard Alzaafaran. They're two different houses, guys. Honestly, they're two different scents. So no, they're not exactly the same. I definitely do have a favorite, and so we'll get into this one very, very soon. It's gonna be coming out within the next couple days, so stay tuned for that video. Don't buy it just yet. Wait until I release that other video so you can determine whether or not this is the one to go with or the other one. I will say that there is that very, I don't want to call it synthetic because we know they're all synthetic, but there's a very chemically feel in this brand's Hayaati. So in Lattafa's Hayaati, it does almost immediately give me a headache. So let's reserve it and let's just wait, guys. I'm gonna release it very soon, I promise you. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, half as much as I did making it for you guys. And as always, love ya.